Assalamu alaikum everybody, this is Muhammad Abdullah.
My name is Shafir Hadar. I am welcome to Ambitious AB.
Welcome back guys. In today's video, we are going to learn about a very amazing concept of science, which is nothing less than a magic. And the interesting part is, one of my students from the Knowledge Park International School has come up with the idea to explain you this concept, this magic of nature, with an experiment. So let's welcome him.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I am Sayyid Qadir Afullah of class 9 from Knowledge Park International School. I am here to present you a very exciting and interesting experiment. So let's get started. To understand this, I took three solutions. Solution A, Solution B, Solution C. Let's see what will happen if we drop an egg in this solution. Oh, it sinks.
Wow, it sinks.
In solution B, it partially floats. Now in solution C. Wow, it floats.
Wow.
It's time for the concept. Density of egg is greater than the density of water, so it sinks. Density of egg is equal to the density of salt, so it partially floats. Density of egg is less than the density of sugar, so it floats. So the conclusion is, egg is heavy here, egg is light here, and egg is very light here. Thank you so much. This is Rafiullah. See you.
So good job, Rafi. So I hope you understood about why objects float or sink in the liquids. We learned the object whose density is greater than the liquid is gonna sink, just like this. And the object whose density is equal to the liquid is gonna partially sink. That means it's gonna be in the middle. It's not gonna go at the bottom, it's not gonna go up, right? And the same is the case with the third one. The density of this egg is very less than this sugar solution. If you keep it, what happens? The egg is gonna float. Right. Let's understand what exactly had happened. Actually, we took the same volume of water in these three glasses. Then what made this egg behave differently in these three glasses? It's actually the density. Let's see what actually is the density. Density is nothing but mass per unit volume. That means if you take the same volume of solution, the density of this liquid is very less, the density of this liquid is more, the density of this liquid is very high. What made the density of these water solutions were changed? It's the salt and the sugar added into this solution. As you know, the particles of matter which is liquid has interparticle space. The salt get added into that interparticular space. That means we haven't increased the volume of the liquid, but we added the matter into it. If the particles are added more, the mass is going to be increasing for the same certain volume, for the same volume. That means the density of this thing has increased, right? And similarly, in this solution too, the interparticle space is completely filled with the sugar particles. The mass has increased. When you compare these solutions and when you measure it, you will find this to be heavier, this to be lighter, and this will be very lighter, right? It is because the density of this solution is less, because the matter content available for the same volume is less. Here, the matter, the content, the substance for this volume of solution is more, and here it's high. So now what made the egg to float or sink? The egg is also packed with the particles. Now if you compare this egg with the same volume of this solution, that means if you pour a same volume of this solution, you will find that solution to be heavier than the egg. And it's the nature that heavy things comes down. And about this solution, if you take up this solution of the same volume of the egg, you will find the weight of that solution and this egg is same, right? And if you take up this solution and if you take up a glass of this solution of the same volume of what the egg is, you will find the egg is heavier, right? it's the nature that everything which is heavy, everything which is higher in density goes down. Same is the case. Cold air is having higher density, so it comes down. Hot air is having lower density, so it goes up. So the hot air balloon is. The hot air balloon, when you heat up, what happens? The air becomes hot and the hot air balloon goes up. Nothing less than a magic? Yeah. Now comes a tricky question. Is it possible to make an object float which generally don't? To find out how can I make the object float which generally don't, I took two aluminum foils of same size, right? And I know the property of aluminum. Aluminum is the metal which has the greater density than the water, right? That means it says that the one who is having greater density must sink. So let's find out whether this aluminum sheet is going to sink or float. So I'm going to drop it into the water. Please find out. Let's see. Wow, it is floating. Now, why is the reason that this aluminum sheet, which is having greater density than the water, is floating? We'll find out. Now let's see what will happen. The same size aluminum foil, what will happen with this aluminum foil in this shape? If you just fold it, and now it has become a very small sheet, right? So the very small, this aluminum sheet is just wrapped like a ball into the small sized thing, right? I'm just going to drop it into the liquid. Let's see what will happen. So I have dropped it. Oh, amazing! I see that this aluminum sheet has just got into this solution. It has just sink, right? The same aluminum sheet, one is floating and the other has just sank down. Can we make the object float which generally don't? Yes. The aluminum was supposed to sink down, which has just sank down, and this aluminum is floating because it is flat, because it is able to capture the upward force exerted by this liquid. All the liquid exerts upward force. That upward force is nothing but buoyancy, right? You can also call it as buoyant force. The buoyant force exerted by the liquid is more here. Why? The liquid exerts upward force on the object, and if the surface of the object is high, if the surface area of the object is high, then it can capture the greater upward force, and hence it would be able to float. Whereas in the previous case, where the aluminum was made as a small piece, and that small piece is not able to capture the upward force exerted by the water. I hope you understood. Now if you want to make things float, you just have to make it flat. You just have to build it in such a way that it captures greater buoyant force. So I hope you understood about this concept very well.
थैंक यू सो मच गाइस। उम्मीद करता हूं ये वीडियो आपको बहुत पसंद आया होगा। ऐसे इंटरेस्टिंग वीडियोस के लिए साइंस लेक्चर्स 9th to 12th और सीबीएसई स्टेट के लेक्चर्स, इंटरेस्टिंग प्रोजेक्ट्स आरसी प्लेन के लिए मेरे चैनल को सब्सक्राइब जरूर करिएगा। लाइक करना तो बनता है, बेल आइकन दबाए बिना जाना नहीं। दैट्स इट फॉर टुडेस क्लास। स्टे ट्यून्ड टू माय चैनल एम्बिशियस एबी।